Hello everyone, it is the friendly neighborhood gaming weasel with the Angels of Zariman review video. So, talking about everything that has been added inside of the Angels of Zariman, I have pretty much been through it all in this past couple of days and a week and a half, I guess. And I've decided to make a review on the update because there's some ups and downs in this update, some things that they might change. Down, as you can see on the little bar there, you have segments, so if you want to switch and see certain segments of the video, you definitely can. Before we actually start the video, a like, a comment would be greatly appreciated by me, the gaming weasel. I do try my best to bring out the best content for you guys out there, and a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Of course, having little weasels running around, be having fun in the fields of YouTube and Warframe would be very, very pleasing to see. Before we start, one more thing, the gameplay in the background: Void, Cascade, Flood, and Armageddon. Probably not in that order, but just so you know what the gameplay is, showing off the 3 new game modes. So, starting off the first part of the video, we have the changes to Void Dash. So Void Dash is no longer here. Changes to the focus schools and the new arcanes for your operators' amps. Void Sling is a very controversial thing. It's at Warframe at the moment. I think 90% of the player base that is mad at it is 90% of the player base. I would say that most of that player base is Eidolon Hunters, but I'm not sure. I'm not calling out names or groups. I'm just saying that I'm guessing that most of the groups are mad that are Eidolon Hunters. I'm personally not one, so I cannot speak on behalf of that certain area of Warframe. I, in my opinion, do like Void Sling. Yes, slower than Void Dash, that is 100% sure. But in my opinion, it looks a little bit cooler, is a little bit more fun, slower. Yes, they have increased the Void Sling speed recently, but I don't think it's noticeable. And also another bug, I think, that's going on, or maybe it's just supposed to be that way, switching between operators and warframes. Well, they wanted to make it more seamless, but at least in my situation, I'm having to have more issues than not. I tried to switch, for example, from my warframe. I switched to my operator completely normally, cast my operator's abilities, which are a little bit slower to cast in my opinion. I wish they were just a tiny bit faster. Then I tried to switch back to my warframe, and it doesn't work. I press my key like 6 times to switch to my warframe. My operator is like, I don't want to go back inside of my warframe, I just want to die outside here, letting these enemies shoot me dead. So that doesn't make sense. Hopefully that's a bug, and then when it does switch, it takes a decent sum of time for it to actually switch, for me to be able to control my warframe again. So I don't know what's happening with that. I do hope they say something, some changes might be coming to that, hopefully, but we'll have to see. The focus school reworks. Now, I didn't do every single thing in the new focus schools, but I do love the changes. There's no more pool that you need to purchase, which is very, very good. That was so tedious and so annoying. The grinding for focus seems to be pretty much the same through Elite Sentry Onslaught, or even the new game modes killing Void Void Thraxes. So that seems quite cool and quite fun, or Green Thraxes, I forgot their name. So grinding out focus is not that hard. The changes that they did make to the Urnai focus school and the other focus schools as well seem pretty good. I don't have any issues with them. Of course, I'm not an Eidolon Hunter. I basically use my Void schools for energy, for, of course, increasing my power strength, slowing down enemies. I wish I found that one where you actually tether the enemies to the ground. I cannot seem to find that one, but maybe I'm just very, very stupid. Someone can maybe help me out in the comment section below. But other than that, I do love the focus school reworks. In my opinion, they work pretty okay-ish. I'm not that into focus schools yet, but if you have something to say, you definitely can in the description down below, and then I'll take it into consideration. But the amps as well, they have gotten new arcanes, and your operators have gotten new arcanes as well. Honestly, I like these ones. I like the one where it increases, of course, your amp's damage. That was very, very useful. And I love the one where you disperse your Void Sling, and then you basically give yourself little energy pellets that you can collect, and then you can get loads of freaking energy. So the arcanes are pretty good, pretty decent. The one where the secondary critical chance was bugged was pretty good, but sadly they patched it. In general, the arcanes are quite well and good, well thought out, felt decent, and useful. At least useful. That's something I have to say. So that was the focus, schools, void sling, and the new arcanes for your operator. Moving on to, of course, the new syndicate. So not counting the 6 beginning syndicates, so not counting those, we have our 6th syndicate to grind out in open world / the Zariman spaceship, which isn't really an open world. So counting, we have Plains of Eidolon, Fortuna, and then what's it called? Deimos? Yes, those 3 combined, the 2 smaller ones inside of Fortuna and Plains of Eidolon. Vent kits we're not gonna count because they're not a syndicate. I mean, they are, but who cares about vent kits? So this makes it our 6th syndicate. Are people getting bored of grinding syndicates? I would definitely say yes. At least in my opinion, I'm getting quite bored of grinding syndicates. I don't really need any more syndicates to grind out. I have grind out to Angel rank with the Holdfast Syndicate, but in my opinion, I don't want to grind that out anymore. I don't want to grind any more syndicates. I'm grinding this one out just so I can purchase the scenes and maybe make some platinum off of them, test some things out, see if you can actually make a good platinum amount with the new stuff that you can purchase from these people in the Holdfast Syndicate. Standing is not the easiest thing to get because you need to grind out void plumes like crazy, crests, pinions, veins, downs, and quills. Grind them out like crazy because you're gonna need a lot of them, or for weapons, or for standing, or for ranking up the standing. Yeah, a lot of stuff. I wish they increased maybe some drop rates or I guess spawn rates of these medallions, or void blooms. That would be very, very good, so you can gain those ranks just a tad bit faster and you don't need to grind out like a crazy person. The first 3 days of the update dropping, I basically just grinded void plumes like a maniac just so I can purchase everything for you guys and get everything ready for you guys so you can have those juicy videos to watch while you're playing the game or doing something. So, and just a quick note on the resources to gather. There's 3 new resources: Void Gel Orbs, Thrax Plasm, and Enthrati Lanthorns. Not that hard to gather. I made a video on it, I think yesterday or the day before that. The little eye up there will be so you can gather that information up and soak it up. And that's basically everything to do with the new syndicates and what it offers. So basically, enough syndicates, DE, please. We had enough. Now, the next segment, weapons. There's been 6 new weapons added inside of the game. The incarnon weapons, of course, the 3 incarnon weapons, the primary, secondary, melee weapon. They are, of course, the Phenmor Leatum, and the melee one is the Preados. I butchered that name every single time. What are these incarnon weapons? Well, they're weapons that you do certain tasks and then you evolve them, unlock new perks, and equip them on your weapon. The primary and secondary are definitely great weapons. The melee one is a great weapon, but just the evolution might not be as great as the first 2 are. So, we have the Aeolak as well, which I made a video on, and the Alternox, which I haven't, and the Hespar melee weapon. These 3 weapons are good in their own right. The Alternox, I think, is the worst out of the bunch. The Hespar is a great melee weapon, a new weapon type, the Heavy Scythe weapon type, a very good weapon, and it looks god dang nice. I love the look of that weapon. It looks simply incredible. And the Aeolak, a pretty decent weapon as well. So, those are the new weapons. The new Warframe, Gyre. Gyre is a good Warframe. It had a little bit of bugs at the beginning, but she's good now. Decent steel path, great critical chance, great crowd controlling, bad survivability. But other than that, she seems to be pretty good and pretty fun as well. I wouldn't really play her all the time, but bring her out on occasions would be very good. I would definitely maybe use her playing the arbitrations. They seem quite interesting, but the health minus is going to be a very bad thing. So that was the new Warframe as well. Now talking about the Eximus Changes, and then we're gonna talk about the 3 new game modes. The Eximus Changes are very, very good. You can, thank God, finally differentiate or tell them apart, basically. I tried to say a big word there, but my brain don't work. You can finally make a difference and see which is which. It's finally noticeable inside of a crowd of 1,000 enemies, so thank God they did that. I love that they all have special abilities. The Inferno Butchers slam the ground with fire effects. The frozen one, the Arctic, yes, that's what it's called, the frozen one, basically stay the same, but that's quite cool. Some of them have a perk applied already onto them that they're immune to CC abilities, which is also quite good. You have to go out of your way to actually kill them. The rewards have been increased. I've been noticing much more Riven Slivers coming out of my missions, not just Steel Path, but just ordinary missions as well, so quite cool as well, keep that in mind. And love the special abilities, love that you can notice it now, love that energy leeches don't leech off your energy 5 kilometers away and you have no freaking idea where they are. So the Eximus Changes, tougher little mini bosses inside of the game, good enough enemies. At a certain time it was broken, a lot of them kept spawning, but now they seem to change it, and everything is fine and dandy in that apartment, so we don't have to worry about that. Nonetheless, the Eximus Changes is one of the best probably things added inside of this update, next to, in my opinion, the incarnon weapons. And then the 3 new game modes, the ones that you have been watching in the background. Void Cascade, an interesting game mode. A game mode that I do love very much, and that it seems quite interesting. The 2 game modes that we have here are, or actually all 3 game modes are endless, if I am 100% correct, and I think Armageddon is endless, but I'm not quite sure on that one. Yes, it is. There you go. I figured it out. So, all 3 game modes are endless. The rewards are decent enough. I do love the rewards in them by themselves. You can get arcanes, you can get relics, you can get endo, you can get some random stuff like mods and stuff like that. Quite interesting. I do love the features. I love that you have to switch from your operator to your Warframe, use your different Warframe abilities, kill these Thraxes, keep them away from your Cascades, and keep them open, keep that certain level of I guess balance, so you know, eliminating the enemy's Cascades. Honestly, the game mode is quite fun. You do need to have quite a good team and an adherence to Warframe and build and weapons for it if you're gonna want to play it, you know, long term, a little bit less than maybe 10 minutes, but the rewards are quite decent, quite fun, and nonetheless it is a very good game mode. Not that hard to get a hang of, honestly. You can get a hang of it pretty easily, and it is a very fun game mode. Void Flood, one of the easiest game modes, I have to say. Basically what you have to do is collect these little floating balls, put them and close the void gates or void floods, and basically that is pretty much simple as pricking titania and flying, collecting the orbs, and then bringing them and closing the floods. This one could be much faster and much more rewarding, maybe, in the sense that it is faster than Void Cascades, but nonetheless this game mode is pretty easy to do as well. Pretty fun. I do love Void Flood, it is quite cool, but if you pick Titania, it is basically easy mode for you because you're going to be closing those floods like they're nothing. Of course, if you reach a certain level of open Void Floods, enemies do get a buff, and you get a debuff as well, so keep that in mind. That's also sort of the same thing with the next game mode, the Armageddon. So you have 3 points. You have the main defense target, the engine, Reliquary Drive, I guess. And you have A and B. Every couple of minutes it's going to tell you where to go or to defend A or B or the Reliquary Drive. You can actually get some new Argazine. That is a new material that you can gather only in that game mode, and don't keep it and take it home with you. Build turrets that fire lasers, or a rifle turret or an electrical turret that can defend those certain I guess spots. If you fail to defend them, the enemy will get a buff increase, so that is quite cool as well. And after you defend both the A and B and Reliquary Drive, you get a Void Angel spawning, so you can kill it and then get a Void Plume Quill, or Opinion, sorry, for that. So pretty much that is it. All 3 game modes quickly done and dusted. Now, in my opinion, what do I think of the update in general? I think of the update as a really cool addition to Warframe. Do I think it was substantial enough that will keep me playing Void these new 3 game modes, for example, for a long time? No, I don't think it will. I don't think it will hold up a lot of people for a long ass time, but we'll see as time will tell. The rewards, as I said, are pretty decent. You get the arcanes as well, but in all 3 game modes I do prefer Cascade because you get the most out of Void Cascade. It is, in my opinion, the most difficult one maybe, but if you have a good team, then basically you're gonna get everything you need out of this update and just by playing Void Cascade. But other than that, the update is a good update. The weapons added are decent. The Warframe is good as well. Actually, the weapons are great. The Warframe is decent, I think. I need a Warframe that's a little bit more survivable than Gyre is. The new game mode is quite fun, the 2 new game modes. The changes to the focus goals are interesting to say the least, but it all depends on which side you're looking at it from. In my opinion, they are pretty good. Void Sling could be a little bit faster, switching to Operator could be a little bit faster, and Warframe could be a bit faster, but you know, it is teach their own, as they would say. And the new Syndicate, please, just no more Syndicates. I cannot grind it out. I'm literally getting tired just by talking about Syndicates inside of Warframe, so no more Syndicates DE, please. And a couple of changes are still needed. I think that bounties should have a little bit more stages for more rewards, because the rewards are okay-ish, but more rewards would be pretty good. For example, the Demos bounties are really great because you can get multiple rewards per multiple stages completed, so that's quite good. But other than that, everything else about the Syndicates is okay. So, that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed this longer video. If you guys stayed till the end, a like, a comment, and subscribe would be greatly appreciated, and thank you so much for watching the video. I'm very, very thankful for your presence on this YouTube channel. And this has been the Gaming Weasel, over and out.